This is a prime example of what is, and what should always be, the holy grail of bass guitars, the 1960 Fender Jazz Bass. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of On the Bench. I'm your host Jacob, and today we have what is probably going to be the most special bass we ever have on this show. This is a 1960 first year Fender Jazz Bass. I cannot explain, one, how lucky I feel to even be holding it, but two, just how cool this thing is. This is the king of the crop. This is the cream that will rise to the top, as the Macho Man would say. There are a handful of features that you see in 1960, but you don't really see carried on after that. The biggest thing with first year jazz basses is the stacked concentric tone knobs. This is the only year where you could, at any point in the year, go buy one of these brand new and you had dual volume and dual tone controls on a jazz bass. Very quickly after the production starts, it swaps to a dual volume and master tone 3-knob layout, which is the jazz bass we're all familiar with. Beyond that, it has all the other 1960 Fender features. You're gonna have the slab rosewood fretboard. You're gonna have the strap button on the back of the headstock. It's got the reverse tuning machines. This is a double bass thing. When you played a big stand-up bass, the tuning machines were actually backwards from what a normal guitar would be. So you've got the 3.6-inch pickup spacing. As the 60s go on and into the 70s with the CBS era, things change and they move this pickup back about a 1/2 inch. That gets you a 4-inch spacing. That is going to be a slightly brighter, bit more poppy sound. The next big change is they add 2 more frets onto the neck to make it a 22 fret neck, and it becomes known as the boner bass. Yes, the boner bass. You can fact check that, that is a real thing. Let's just take a moment to appreciate the aging on this bass. All these vintage instruments are gonna come in either 1 of 2 varieties, and that's pretty darn clean or pretty well played in. And this one I would say falls into the played in category. This was not a case queen. This was definitely somebody's player. You've got the arm wear right here where your arm is rubbing when you're playing. You've got the dings on the lower part of the body. You've got, I mean, look at that buckle rash. You can't replicate that in a shop. This is quite worn off over in your low end range. There's quite a bit of what you call ring wear from just your hand rubbing on the back of it. Even the headstock, if you look at the very edge at the top, has gotten all chewed up just from being the thing that sticks out the most and dings into things constantly. Now, these old vintage Fender pick guards are known for shrinking. This bass has shrunk up a fair bit, and you can see right about here it's lifting off the body, right around this top horn it's pulled in a little bit, and you can see where it used to sit. There's a little bit of a rise up by the neck. You can also see the spot where there is a bit of a shadow from where the tug bar used to be. There's a little bit of a hump in the cutaway of the treble side horn. Most interesting thing about the body is that the finish used to be a 3-color sunburst. Now, if you had just looked at this bass, you would never know that this was a 3-tone burst. But if you take the bridge cover off, you can see the tan line from one, where the mutes used to bolt onto the body. They're now often in the case. Also this grounding strip. But the primary thing we're interested in is just the amount of red that is showing up underneath where that cover would have been. That is a really deep and really wide band of red. And that would have gone all the way around the body of the instrument. It has just gotten all the right dings and dents and scrapes in all the right places. This is what you call true, genuine, honest play wear. It doesn't matter how good of a job Fender Custom Shop does relicking an instrument. It will never look like this. There is a level of authenticity that can only come with time. People will often say that the P bass is the Fender bass. I will completely and wholeheartedly disagree with them. The jazz bass is the Fender bass. Lots of people use P basses, and just as many, if not more, influential names used the jazz bass. Everyone from John Entwistle on the bass solo for My Generation, to John Paul Jones for most of his time with Led Zeppelin, Jaco Pastorius, Marcus Miller, Jermaine Jackson, Paul McCartney even played a jazz bass for the White Album. Bootsy Collins even plays a jazz bass, and it's Bootsy, baby! And even modern players are going to the jazz bass, like Blue Blue Tiger, who is the youngest artist to have a Fender signature model. These basses are the stuff of legend. This is the golden era for electric guitars in the vintage world. And while this bass might not be on our website, you can find a lot of other really cool stuff on our website at creamcitymusic.com. If you're interested in pure tone, no talking gear demos, you can check out our series Tone Check right here on our YouTube channel. Otherwise, I've been Jacob, I'll continue to be Jacob, and I'll see you next time.